It's kind of hard to imagine exactly what it'll look like this way. I'm mostly trying to figure out what feels, it sounds kind of corny, but what feels right. You just want me to hand them to you then?
Yeah, that'll work.
Yay, one of them's up. I think there are 400-ish.
Oh, that's easy then. What was the last one, like 3,000?
3,300-ish.
3,300, perfect. Yeah, I should be a walk in the park then.
Oh, did I mention they're not totally square?
Yeah, it's because they're made by a human.
Well, back when I was at my studio and glazing these, I wanted it to look somewhat eroded and have a lot of variation in the glaze. And I like this kind of worn, it almost looks sandblasted. And I thought about sandblasting them, but I don't have a sandblaster. So I experimented with just rubbing some of the glaze off, and I like the way that looks. Like this, to me, looks like a natural process, like it's worn or eroded. And sometimes when I didn't plan on that from the beginning, but I just often trust that if I keep going, something will work out. One of the really tricky parts about doing handmade tile is the clay has a memory. So like if I just rolled this through a slab roller or rolled it all in one direction, it would want to warp and come back up. And some of that is okay. Some of that is the charm of the handmade. It's all a little bit different, but it still has to fit. So it's that balance between things being totally wild and things fitting and being functional. Part of that function in my mind is, does it change the space to feel warm and welcoming and human? So these tiles are going to be part of a 6-foot wide by 4-foot tall installation that's going above a fireplace in Duluth. And it was kind of an ideal client situation. She just said, I really love your work. This is the space I have. And she gave me a few images of things that she likes that are kind of nature-based. She showed me a photo of how the ice piles up on the lake. I'm sure you've seen that. Just all the light and shadows. This next one has a big tile, this next row.
Okay.
I am very comfortable in my studio with clay and glazes. And then James is the collaborator who makes sure they get up, they stay up, and the details are really important.
In the world of tile, everything is usually very symmetrical, very perfect, straight lines, 90-degree corners, very, very neat and orderly. And so this kind of tile gives a lot more freedom to be creative with it. And the fact that it's not stamped out in a press mold, it's made by hand. It's a lot more forgiving to work with, almost in a sense, just because it's not meant to be perfect. So I think it's actually easier to work with this than with a standard tile. So.
I thought of doing different squares, and again that felt kind of chaotic, so repeating the same squares but moving them around in different ways was kind of like a happy resting place, yet not a completely predictable pattern. And then with the texture, there's a lot of different planes where the light can shine and kind of sparkle like the lake does and sparkle like the ice on the lake. I have thought about the lifespan of these projects, thinking of it as a semi-permanent, permanent piece of artwork in somebody's home, something they interact with every day, several times a day, that's really special, and that does feel really good.